and you are looking to gain more clients, create more impact, and more revenue in your business, tune in to Amplify Your Marketing Message with Campbell Rapin. Every week, we're going to take you through how to build an audience of buyers, mastering your marketing message, and making offers that convert consistently. We'll see you all on the inside. I know you have heard this expression and seen it in the business community. It's time to work on the business and not just in the business. But in a recent conversation that I was part of, I realized just how many people either don't know what that means to work on the business, or truthfully, they need a wake-up call. So if you are in either camp of this, which is 99% of entrepreneurs I know, wake up, because this is your episode. This is your tune-up that you need. And I want you to save this episode, share this episode, and go back to this episode, because this is the difference maker of why my business thrives and so many others do not in a competitive landscape. There are 6 things that are critical pieces of the puzzle to focus on as the CEO and business owner. 6. Simple. You know me, I'm all about elegant simplicity, but we're going to take you through those 6 things today because I want to invite you to get out of the weeds. If you truly want to stop wobbling and thinking, I don't know if I have all the plates in the air under control, or I don't know if I can sleep at night because I'm really just winging it. Stop winging it, my friends. Stop winging it. Listen to this episode. Focus on this episode and come work with us at Clear Acceleration, because this is the foundational pieces that I work with my clients around so that they ensure they have thriving, profitable businesses without working and giving up their soul like a lunatic 24/7. So the first piece of this puzzle is the heart of what I love to do with people, and that's build your clear business strategy. Because if you do not know where you're going, it is impossible to have consistency in your decision making, because you generally don't make great decisions. Strategy is the thing that separates businesses that live long term. It is the thing that helps people live long term. So what is your goal? If your goal is to be here long term, then you must have a clear business strategy, because it is the framework that you make all your decisions around. And strategy is, by its very nature, iterative, which means it's always evolving. So strategy isn't something you write your business plan and put it in a box. I'm not even a big fan of business plans because they don't live as living documents for most business owners. But strategy is a 4-step process. There's some great episodes. Go find them here on this podcast to get clear on them and get a deeper look at it. But they answer 4 simple things. What marketplace are we playing at? Why do we want to play there? What makes us unique in the marketplace? And what capacity, capabilities do we need to win? Because our goal, I said, is winning long term. And so the first thing you must do as a business owner to get out of the weeds is set time aside to plan and execute and evaluate iteratively your strategy. If you don't do this, you have so made it hard to win. So strategy is number 1. Number 2 is that you are here for a profitable endeavor. And yes, not-for-profit businesses, I am talking to you too. I want you to be a profitable business regardless of what you do with your profit, because profit is what you have to invest with life, your personal life, your give backs, your charity, and your staff. So you've got to watch your money. And business is math, people. Shocker, in case you didn't know that. But cash flow is everything. The number 2 reason why businesses close is lack of cash flow. Number 1 is lack of clients. Strategy addresses number 1, and cash flow number 2 is by watching your numbers. Cash flow is about knowing what is revenue, top line, and what is profit, bottom line. And you have to know that the money in the bank, it's not necessarily free money. And that's where most businesses go awry. They think, if I've got it, I can spend it. That's dangerous. And it is also dangerous to trust and abdicate responsibility of your financial health of your business to other people. And that can be other people that are tax, financial, bookkeepers, and really qualified number people, but it can also be trusted with people in your team, that they're sending invoices, that they're following up to make sure they get paid. It is not anybody else's responsibility to manage cash flow but yours, because you have to have the top line responsibility that says this matters. You set the standard. And that means every day a great business owner tracks money in. Every day, what's our end of day sales? They also are tracking what's our end of day commitments, what's our end of day outs, so that we can manage and ensure that there's health on the bottom line, because otherwise you are just doing the hokey pokey and you will not survive long term. So strategy number 1, cash flow number 2. Number 3 is nothing happens to drive those two if you are not focusing on income producing activities. And you've heard it before if you've been listening in our podcast a while, but let's just talk about the 2 things that predict your revenue in the next 90 days. Most businesses on average take 90 days to go from first contact with a potential buyer to yes. And money flows often after the initial yes. So you've even got to extend this a little bit. But income producing activities that drive and predict your revenue are getting in front of more people, more ways, who have the potential to be what? Your buyer. Without a buyer, you are a likable expert and not going anywhere with your cash flow, and you're spinning your wheels. The second piece of the puzzle is if you are not making offers to the potential buyer, you are hoping that money miraculously ends up in your bank account, which is insane. And I hope you heard that insanity in the way I said that. So you need to focus on income producing activities every single day of your business, and you should be tracking it with your cash flow every single day of your business. So you are executing your strategy every day of your business. That's how life happens as a business owner. But here's a guidance, because when you are not seeing consistent income and you want to drive your cash flow and grow your business to amplify your effect, to create more client growth, more profit, more impact, I always tell my clients, if you are already in the place where you have an engine running, you know how to build client growth, 50% of your available hours of the day, whatever that is for your business. If you're full-time, that's 40 hours. If you are working part-time, it could be anything. But 50% of your day, when you already have a really effective system, still needs to be on income producing activities. Without that, you don't have good cash flow. So what happens if you are not yet having consistency, or you've gone through a period where that consistency has evaporated, the marketplace is moving and you feel out of pace with it? Then I would say 70% of your day, available hours, available capacity, has to be on income producing activities. And you should have a metric board that you track this every single day with every single team member, because it is not just the sales team that is responsible for driving revenue. It is every person who's employed by the business, because if they're not generating revenue, they are not driving to your vision and your strategy. And that means you have to get rid of a whole bunch of crap. That's how you step out of the overwhelm. You simply get rid of all of that crap. That's not income producing activity, because you're not working on the business. You're in the weeds and it's costing you more than you can afford. So number 4 is you need to have a critical, unemotional attachment to evaluating what is working and what is not. In the scale model that I use with my clients in the Business Scale Accelerator, scale is an acronym, we talk about steps 4 is to stop doing what's not working so you can free up capacity to focus on 5, the last piece of the model, which is amplify what is. So if you don't know what's working, you don't know what's not working, it is very, very hard to take a course correction when needed. And it can mean that you get really caught on a runway or really far out on a cash flow problem before you take correction. And that is avoidable. It means that you as the business owner has to slow down and make this a priority, because the buck stops with you. Whether you're a solopreneur or you're running a team, it always stops with you. That is the responsibility you have chosen as a leader. So strategy, You got to know where you're going. You've got to watch your money. Business is math. You've got to focus on the things that grow the money, and that is income producing activities. And you focus your adjustments of the strategy by critically evaluating without an emotional attachment, honestly, what is working, what does not. And some of the freest advice I can give you is cut the BS. Don't look for the answers you want to see. Get truthful about the answers that are, and use the data and your gut instinct to adjust the ship quickly, which is by then taking into step number 5, which is about working on the business here, is you need to know what's happening in the marketplace. When we talked about strategy, I said you get to choose the play if you want to go play, you get to choose how you want to go play it, but you need to know why you're the must hire in the marketplace, which means you must be aware of what's happening in the marketplace. You have to research the marketplace. You have to be aware about the choices your buyer has. You have to be able to confidently establish, first with yourself and then communicate it to others, why should we hire you? And you need to know where new opportunities lie so you can be taking good, critical decisions that either support your successes or adjust you if you're not winning where you could be. And the final piece of the puzzle is that you, as the business owner, are truthfully, guess what? Honestly, guess what? A work in progress, which means you have to build your knowledge base. I don't know a single business owner, myself included, and I've been in the world of business for almost 30 years, and I have worked with lots of companies, 400 of them plus. We've created $1 billion, and I am still heavily invested in educating myself, because knowledge is power when applied to create better awareness, which means you have to be committed as a priority to your own development. It is a fixed cost in your budget line that impacts your cash flow. Because if you're not moving and developing, you are moving behind the momentum of your business. And it is up to you as the visionary, as the business owner, to set future vision, to set future capabilities, to set what's possible for everybody and show everybody that's where we're going. We're going to get there by being invested in working on the business and ourselves. Because lived experience of applying the knowledge will help us iterate and win more frequently. Business can be elegantly simple. It can be elegantly simple, but stop the illusion that it is effortless. And so many people, when they come into the world of business, say, like, I want to scale. And I will tell you, here's the truth about scaling. I mentioned it earlier in the model. Scaling to me is an acronym. It has 5 steps, the SCALE. First, you've got to start with the foundations. That's a big piece of the foundation you hear on this podcast. It is also the foundation of the 3 non-negotiables I work with my clients on in all of our programs and services, which are getting clear. Who is your buyer? How will you move them to becoming your next client? And how do you create offers that are valued in the marketplace? But you have to have those foundations. That's step number 1 of scaling any business on the planet. Start with the foundations. Second thing is you've got to be able to do what? Communicate. You've got to know who you are, what you stand for, and execute and move people through conversation. Communication is key. Hard to know where you're going if you cannot communicate it. Others can't follow you, don't know how to say yes to you, and you've got to be the person people say yes to. That's how business works. Third piece of the scale model is you want to choose your acceleration, which is get in motion and stay in motion at whatever speed you can. That does not mean that in every season you're Mach 10 hair on fire, but it means you don't take your foot off the gas. You keep the engine running. But you choose your speed intentionally by managing capacity and managing your integrity, your values, and the standard of your business services to get results at a level you've chosen. The fourth piece of the model I told you is to stop what's not working, free up the capacity, because you've got to master what is working, which is the last piece. And scaling is not the same for every business. I want to tell you a story. Many years ago, I was invited as this keynote speaker into a networking group with a bunch of business owners in South Africa. And I asked them the question, where do you want to take your business? Because the one thing I'm very clear on as a mentor is my job is not to create your vision. My job is to add oxygen to the vision you have and to expand what's possible and to help you get there. Getting there by focusing on the scale model and getting clear on your business strategy. But I listened to the room and I said, what does scaling mean to you? And for some people, that was hiring a team. And just as equally, there were other people in the room who recoiled at the thought of having to be responsible for other human beings. I've got people that said, I want to grow in my own community to other locations. And I yet had other people in the room that said, I want to build a global business empire. Scale means something different to every single person, every single business owner. What should be non-negotiable is it should not cost your soul. It should not require you to work 24/7 when you embrace the elegant simplicity of business itself. You have a clear strategy, you focus on the non-negotiables, and you get out of the weeds. So many business owners are stuck just in service delivery, stuck putting out fires, stuck tweaking things that truly don't matter, are just distractions. Instead, I'm inviting you in this episode of Amplify Your Marketing Message to focus on the 6 things that will set the tone of, do you make it or not? Do you have a runway to create repeatable success? You have to know where you're going. Start with strategy. You have to manage your money. You have to count the numbers, and you have to understand that money in and money out are just part of the puzzle. I want to know the difference between top line and bottom line health of your business every single day. I want you to focus on what matters, which is the income producing activities, and being really clear who's the buyer and where are the offers. You've got to be critical thinking. What's working? And what equally is not. Because doing more of what's not working is insane. It's costing you more than you could afford. And you are responsible for setting the direction. Self-leadership first as a solopreneur, and always self-leadership as a business owner and CEO who sets the standard for their team. You got to watch the marketplace. That's number 5. You got to know what's moving. You got to know how you will win in the marketplace of today. And you've got to be anticipating how to win in the market of the future, because you are crafting it with your non-negotiables. And number 6, you've got to recognize you don't get there whole, solo, with all the knowledge from day one. Invest in your business. Focus on the business and become the leader that you know changes other people's lives. Your clients, your own, your community, your team. Because everything you want in amplifying what you stand for comes down to your ability to focus on the things that move the needle. And in this room that I sat in a couple of weeks ago, and the question was asked, what does it really mean to actually work on the business instead of in the business? It means these 6 things. And you don't have to have all of them every single day, but you need to know what they are. And you do need to have a plan to watch, monitor, evaluate, and adjust all 6. And if all of that goes, wow, that's a little much, Christine, heavy-handed today. Well, the invitation is simple. These things to me are breathing, because I've done this a lot of years. Come and explore what it's like in the services we offer at Clear Acceleration Inc. We help clients win long-term. We help clients build business empires. We help clients create movement and have the lifestyle they want so that they are truly business owners and have the leadership to be great catalysts for change. That is you. And I know that because you're listening to this podcast. So come have a conversation. ChristineCampbellRapin.com is the place to go. I look forward to connecting with you there. It's time to grow for it, my friends. Let's grow together. That's a wrap on another amazing episode of Amplify Your Marketing Message with me, your host, Christine Campbell Rapin. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss another great episode. And be sure to visit ChristineCampbellRapin.com/podcast to get a free resource on how to master your marketing message. We'll see you all on our next episode.